Greg Tomlins, and I'm here today to talk to you, to try to persuade you that the church should be doing what our government is doing. To help the poor, the hungry, those who need clothing, those who need shelter. In Deuteronomy 15:11, God says that there will never cease to be poor in the land. He says for us to open our hand wide to our brothers, to those in need, and to give them basically what they need. I know what it's like to be homeless because there was a period of a few months of my life where I was homeless. I had my job, so I had enough money to pay for the gas in my car, any repairs, a gym membership so I could have a shower, and the storage shed unit that I lived in for the several months. It was not a fun time. I know some people believe that it is the government's responsibility. God didn't commission the government to take care of those in need. He commissioned the church. He commissioned us. And I think it's time that we start doing what God has commissioned us to do. That is to help the poor, the hungry, the needy all around. There are several people that live at or below the poverty level. And I want to show you some of the programs that the church are doing. And again, stuff that we as a church should be doing. According to CNN Money, a report that they put out on September 14th, 2011, 3.2 million Americans were on unemployment insurance in 2010. And that helped keep them out of the poverty level. But in 2011, they joined the ranks of about 46.2 million Americans. Then once they did that, they were considered in the poverty level. The book of Acts, chapters 2, 45 through 47, tells us that the believers sold their possessions to help those in need. And it's a point of reference for how God has commanded us to help those in need. According to the Sunshine report, according to Sunshine and the Colson report in 2011, when people have a need, it needs to be met. But they should also be taught how to become self-sufficient, self-reliant, so you don't have to continue to help the same person over and over. In Galatians chapter 2, verse 10, Paul said that the one thing that the apostles told them was to remember the poor. He goes on to say in that same one that he intended on doing that anyway. Part of the church's commission was to help those in need, to help the poor, to help the hungry, to give clothing, to give shelter. It's just something that I believe that we're supposed to be doing, and not the government. The government does provide several programs if people qualify. But as a church, they don't have to qualify, they just need to have the need. But some of the things that the government does is they give WIC, that's women, infant, children, something that you can help feed your families, your infants and your children with. They also have food stamps. You have the National School Lunch Program, and in some states even offer cash assistance. According to the Ethics Daily in 2009, a guy named Warnick wrote that 52% of Americans believe that faith-based programs are the best way to get the needs met. And that number is up from about 8 years prior to that. The book of Acts, chapters 11, verses 27 through 30, talks about where prophets traveled from Jerusalem to Antioch. A guy named Agabus prophesied that there was going to be a famine amongst the Roman world. And the believers in Antioch decided to give as much as they could. It's kind of like the very first relief aid that you see recorded. Just they literally gave, the scripture says, as much as they could. We have homeless pretty much everywhere in every city, and we need to help those who want it. The Morales from the Huffington Post says that a serious effort needs to be made, that within 5 years that we can end homelessness amongst our military, and by the year 2020 we can end homeless amongst children and families. The guy named Keenan from the Word Press wrote that most people call upon the church when it comes to shelter. I know here in Jacksonville we have several homeless shelters. I know for a fact one of which is run by a church. You have the Trinity Rescue Mission that is run by Trinity Baptist Church. You also have the City Rescue Mission. You have the Salzbacher Center, and you have the Clara White Mission. And again, I know for a fact that Trinity Baptist runs a Trinity Rescue Mission. Isaiah 58:7 talks about everything that I pretty much just said. It says that, to feed the hungry, to give shelter to the homeless, give clothing to those in need, and don't turn anybody away. A few ways that can get met is to have kind of like a church network system, to have a ministry where all the churches throughout the city work together. We might be of different denominations than that other church, but we all have the same Bible. We all have the same command. It's time to just work together. Have programs, where we all work together. Where you have like 4 weeks in a month. Have it to where schedules are on a rotating week. Yes, so people who are hungry can go to a church in their neighborhood every week, so they don't have to go across town to get that need met. Churches can also work together to provide a clothing drive. What you can do is you can go hand out flyers, send out little postcards, or go door-to-door knocking, saying, next week at this particular location, we're going to have a clothing drive. If you or anybody in your family needs clothes, come on out. And when they do, give it away. You can also start a job training program. Pay for these people to get some kind of job training, just a trade. Then you help them find a job or help them start their own business. Then when that's done, you ask them, come back and let us show the others that are in need what was done for you. And show the help. Another way they make this work is we have to tithe. We have to, because the church uses the tithe dollar, so we have to tithe to make this work. There's a ministry called the Dream Center. You can go to www.dreamcenter.org. That's the original Dream Center in Los Angeles. There are now 100 Dream Centers worldwide, and they do everything that I just named and a whole lot more. And that's a ministry that we should be following an example of. In conclusion, I've discussed what the government is doing to help those in need. I've discussed what the church is doing, or what should be doing, instead of the government. God commissioned the church, not the government. People I ask, what are we going to do as a church together to meet this need? Again, we were commissioned, not the government. And I implore you to pray about, ask what God is calling you to do, what He's calling us to do. Again, my name is Greg Tomlinson, and thank you for listening.